Getting kids excited about fresh fruits and veggies, yeah, that can feel like a never-ending battle. But what if trying new produce was actually fun for kids? That's the magic of the Power of Produce Club, a super cool program that turns farmers markets into mini adventures for kids. And here to show us a tasty way to bring more fresh produce into your family's routine is chef and cooking instructor Hind Yahya. Good morning, and thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. Such a pleasure.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to get to chopping soon. But first, you've been a very big supporter of hitting up farmers markets for fresh ingredients. So why do you think that's so important?
I think it's especially important for kids because it gets them introduced to the locality of things, to their natural resources. You know, shopping in grocery stores and co-ops is absolutely fine, but when you go to the neighborhood farmers markets, it gives them that level of experience that they just don't get from the other places. So they get to introduce themselves to the vendors, they get to see the wonderful, beautiful produce, and it just empowers them to make better choices.
Oh, it empowers us all to make better choices, I feel like. What goodies did you bring with us today, and what are we going to be making together?
All right, we are making some strawberry salsa. We're going to utilize some nice seasonal strawberries that we have at the Seattle neighborhood farmers markets. We're going to be chopping up some fresh tomatoes that we have to look forward to later this summer. And of course, our local strawberries, a little hint of lime juice, some onion, and a little bit of jalapeno maybe to spice things up.
Ooh, yeah. I've never done strawberry salsa,
Yeah.
so a little sweet, a little savory.
Exactly, and strawberries and tomatoes are such a great pairing. So I would love for you to help out too, if you don't mind.
I have my little. I'm gonna watch what you do, and I'm going to do the exact same thing.
So we're just gonna do some simple chopping here on our tomatoes. Just go ahead and cut that in half.
Hamburger style, I like to call this.
Yes, yeah. And cut it in half again.
Okay.
And then go ahead and cut in half again. So we keep a nice simple cuts here. I like to keep it simple whenever I'm, getting kids in the kitchen.
I was going to say, this is something you could do with your kiddos, right?
Absolutely, yes. Yeah, they love to help out. They love to get their hands on. We'll just get that in here.
Thank you.
Absolutely there. And let's go ahead and cut a few more. We'll bring that a little closer.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Here we go. And tell us about the Pop Club while we're...
Oh yes, the Pop Club. So again, that stands for Power of Produce. That was introduced last year at the Phinney Farmers Market, and it did so well, so we're bringing that back this year for the entire summer. That is held at the Phinney Farmers Market every Friday from 3 to 7, thank you. And yeah, it's available for kids ages 3 to 12.
Wow.
And the great thing about that is when they participate in an activity, they get $4 in farm bucks that they get to spend at the market. So a great way, again, just to empower them, a way to motivate them as well, because, money is a great motivator for a lot of us.
Yeah. A little incentive. Well, we all want that.
Exactly.
And kids are known to be picky eaters, I feel like, a lot of times, too. So do you feel like the Pop Club is helping them kind of branch out and try new flavors?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, one of my favorite activities that they do is called the 2-Bite Club. So it could be, for example, a piece of bell pepper, could be a strawberry, could be a tomato, anything like that. And as long as they take 2 bites of that product, they get $4 in farm bucks. Yeah.
What feedback are we getting from parents already? I mean, I feel like my parents would have loved this when I was growing up because I never really, to be honest, grew out of being a picky eater, but I'm trying my best here.
They absolutely love it. They love that it gives a sense of independence and agency to their kids. Once they earn those $4, they get to go around the market and then pick out some fresh fruit or produce, and gives a little sense of pride to them as well to be able to make those choices. So the parents are loving it.
Absolutely. Okay, so you were doing some strawberries.
Yes.
Dicing that in there,
exactly.
Right?
So let's kind of aim for the same size with the strawberries. So again, just in half and then in quarter.
How do you feel about stems on things too? Do you feel good about that?
It just kind of depends on what it is. So for these like tiny tomatoes or these tiny strawberries, I don't really go through the trouble of coring out the center there, especially when they're so fresh like this. But sometimes if they're quite large, I might pull them out.
Yeah.
But stems aren't really a big issue.
What would you put like a salsa like this on? What would this go well with as far as, I don't know, any dinners or any inspo you have?
Well, one thing is I actually pair with at home is I do salmon tacos.
Oh.
Yeah, and I put this on top of my salmon tacos. Of course, just good old chips, right? Good old chips is going to be great with this too. And you can do this on top. I think for fish, at least for me, fish is the go-to when it comes to this salsa. I like to put on some halibut, some grilled halibut. And I think when you have something that is colorful and flavorful like this, again, the kids will get more motivated to try whatever it's on, right? So you don't have a kid, maybe you have a kid who's not really into fish, for example, right? But if you put this on there, maybe you might, convince them a little bit to give a little try. But yeah, I always tell people, experiment. If you think it might try, good on something, then go for it. You know,
Right.
don't stop yourself. Might be really good. All right, so
What
let's
else
see.
do we put in here?
We're
We're
gonna-
getting a little
Yes.
spice, a little zest.
Yes, we have some lime juice here. We're just gonna squeeze a little bit in that.
Fresh lime juice
Fresh
too, right?
lime juice. And if you want to go the extra step of zesting this, getting the skin off of that, you can do that as well.
Okay.
And then do you like a little spice in there?
I love spice.
Okay.
Hit me with it.
Yes,
the jalapeno.
we got some jalapeno here.
What are some tricks here to make sure, you know, you're obviously you don't want to get it in your eye or anything,
Yes.
but is there any tips you can give people?
The best thing is actually a pair of gloves is going to be really helpful, so you don't get it all over your fingers,
But
right?
you're an expert, so it's okay.
Yeah, I'm used to those kind of, you know, sensations. But for those of people who maybe are used to touching their face immediately after, maybe wear some
True.
gloves because you don't want to be touching your face after you cut some spicy jalapeno. And I'm just going to do some nice little slices, or you can
Yeah.
chop this up too, nice and small. And you just add as much as you want in here. So
Okay.
as
And what is
spicy as
the
you like
oil
it.
and everything else that goes in
Yeah,
here?
so here I have the same tomatoes but blended. So if you want to make this a
Oh.
bit more saucy instead of just like a drier, what we call it more like a pico de gallo kind of style, then you can add some of this in there too. So
Yum.
same tomatoes, just blend it up a little bit. Then we mix that up.
This is looking so fresh and delicious.
Yeah.
And while you're still mixing that, I'm gonna try our finished product over
Please
here, which
do.
looks absolutely
Yes.
amazing. So inviting this morning. And
Yeah.
again, I've never tried strawberry salsa. So here we
I
go.
see what you mean about the stem now. If we were asking if I like the
I
stems
know,
in there or
right?
not.
I'm like, does that go in?
It's all good. And then we have here some extra virgin olive oil. Just give that a little drizzle too.
I'm really like the flavors that are happening right now.
Right?
Like the jalapeno with the strawberry, everything is just amazing and fresh. So
Yes.
what else is popping off too right now at the farmers market for people that are gonna stop by?
Oh, so across the neighborhood farmers market, not just at Phinney, but we have other activities. For example, you might be seeing some live music coming up. We have art activities as well. And then of course, cooking demonstrations, which is my specialty at the markets. I love to do some cooking demonstrations. People come up, they get to learn something new. Again, learn about the produce at the market, how to use it, how to use things seasonally, and they get to taste at the end what we're making. So.
And I can attest the taste testing here. Amazing. Thank you so much for showing me
Thank
how to make
you.
this so good. And don't miss the Pop Club happening Friday afternoons at the Phinney Farmers Market through the end of September.